Hello again, welcome back to InsurTech Live. Time for our next keynote, Digital Strategies, the role of an independent distributor in the digital world. And we're joined by Bryan Davis, EVP, Head of View by Hub at Hub International. Bryan, hi, thanks for joining us.
Excited to be with you today.
Great to see you. Thanks ever so much. We are running slightly behind time, so I won't take up any of your time. I'm sure you've got a lot to get through. The floor is yours, sir.
Awesome. Well, it's good to be with you guys today. Just a little bit. My name is Bryan Davis. As you said, I get the privilege of leading View by Hub for Hub International. I'm a 20-plus year industry veteran. Most of my career was spent on the carrier side of things in a number of roles, from underwriting, product development, pricing, strategy and planning, call center operations, to strategic administration. And now I get the privilege of serving one of the largest brokers in the world, largest personalized broker, top 5 insurance broker at Hub International. So today I'm excited to talk to you about independent omnichannel distribution and the role that omnichannel distributor plays in some of the trends. So first off, here are a few things that I thought would be good to engage in a good conversation with you guys on today. As number one, the market acceleration to omni-channel distribution is really being driven by 3 main macro factors, and I plan to dive a little deeper into those factors today. Secondly, when you look at an effective consumer experience, and keyword being effective, that experience is really fractured when it comes to insurance, with no one provider delivering the needs the consumer has across all of the steps. Third, COVID-19 has really accelerated technology, and not only cloud computing, but customer preferences have changed rapidly because of the world literally went digital overnight. So, it's driving insurance interactions, the need for consumers for those insurance interactions to be flexible and accessible. So consumers want to engage whenever, wherever, and however they prefer. Fourth, going to dive into how can an independent omni-channel enabled broker be vital, enabling that effective customer experience, and also help mitigate the insurance protection gap. So 4 simple concepts that we're going to dive in today, and then hopefully we can take some of your questions. I'm not the best one to present. I like to engage. So hopefully we can just have an engaging conversation in this e-world today. So let's talk a little bit about the 3 key themes that's accelerating omni-channel distribution. Number 1, market conditions. You definitely have heard of climate change, or whatever you want to call it. Weather patterns are affecting customers and locations differently than they have in the past. If you know anything about insurance carriers, we typically would price on historical data. Well, some of those models are irrelevant in a lot of instances where weather patterns are occurring. Hail in Arizona, ice in San Antonio. So, it's hard to predict where risk will occur. That's a way for carriers to get into avoiding risk, certainly increasing prices. So the effect of climate change is here to stay. And that's one of the big trends that's affecting the market conditions. In addition to climate change and weather patterns changing, markets are hardening. Whether it's from supply chains that's causing prices to increase, different interest rate environment, it bleeds a market that is less risk tolerance and more risk averse. And that's a big change from probably the last 10 to 15 years in the industry, wherein prices were affordable, Coverage was easy to obtain directly to the carrier. And now those conditions have changed. In addition, new entrants, tech-enabled competition are, influencing customers' preferences a little differently than just, hey, local brick and mortar agencies were the kind of primary distribution choice for consumers. So the market conditions have dramatically changed from hardening of markets, interest rates, and what carriers' supply is doing to counter those environments. Secondly, tech and data advancements, whether it's the rise of platforms, ecosystems. You've heard these concepts of embedded insurance, embedded finance, what cloud computing is doing to make interactions or programming and data compilation a lot more easier and a lot more affordable than historically on-prem environments. The rise of low-code, no-code enables smaller entrants to do more with less, with a lot more ease, to deliver a different customer experience or deliver more insights and personalization to the customer. And the advancement in big data, AI, ML, just Google ChatGPT, and this is kind of taken to the next level. We always thought that was coming, but COVID accelerated a lot of information and data that can be computed into the cloud. So a lot of tech and data advancements have happened at the same time. The market conditions have changed. And then thirdly, the change of customer behaviors. The pandemic shifts impacted all consumers. We all know millennials and Gen Z have had a heavy preference for seamless and interconnected services. That's how they were born. They were born into that world. But our research and data that we've seen is not only do you have those digital natives, kind of demanding what they always have to other areas like financial services, but it's created an even larger market. We like to call them digital refugees. And these are folks who traditionally weren't digital, but because of COVID, they were forced into a digital world, Teams, Zoom. That's how you interacted with people. And they actually ended up liking it. So we like to call that cohort the digital refugees. And so that has created a very large addressable market, larger than just millennials and Gen Z. This is a broader market than it was before. And then in addition to that, the ongoing financial headwinds with inflation, recession, and debt. So three big market and technology and customer behaviors that are really the environment that we're in for omnichannel distribution. Now, when we talk about the customer insurance experience, it's fractured with no one provider delivering across all steps. Wanted to unpack that a little bit. And this is a simple kind of insurance value chain or a typical value chain. And these are some of the things that our research is saying consumers want and how they want it delivered. Whether it's from shopping, research, hey, I need to get educated on a topic. I want it easy to get that advice and research. I want news, advice, timely and relevant. And the key thing is I want it independent and objective. And some good examples of that are Forbes Advisor, Google. That's kind of where customers kind of hover and shop these topics. Now, when I get to the next stage of the journey, I want fast and high quality quotes, particularly multiple quotes, not just one quote provided by one carrier. And I want you to pre-fill my information. I want you to have insights about me prior to me coming to your site. And there's some good examples of that there at the bottom of some folks who do that pretty well. Again, technology is enabling that pre-fill process or capability. Just 3 to 5 years ago, the ease of delivering pre-filled capabilities on, hey, I know what your roof age is. I know that you have 3 or 4 cars in your house. I know who your prior carrier is. Just 3 or 4 years delivering that in a pretty easy manner wasn't there. And since those things are easier to deliver now. Third is I want unbiased advice. I want somebody knowledgeable. I don't want just some generic advice that really is not catered to my particular situation. Hey, what PIP coverage should I have in New Jersey? What's the difference between PIP New Jersey and PIP Florida? So having a licensed expert is very critical in delivering this stage of the journey, but delivering it in a way that, say, an Amazon delivers it. Customers like you have this type of profile and choose this type of coverage this % of time. TurboTax does a good job of making the complex tax buying simple. And so that's kind of what consumers are wanting, unbiased, not, hey, pushing me towards your product. And if you don't have this coverage, then I'm not going to talk to you about it. Customers want unbiased advice at that phase. The undercurrent or the connective tissue to all of this is data. And, so when you talk about data providers like Verisk and LexisNexis, all of that data that has been harnessed and typically historically was leveraged just for supply in the carriers, now it's easier to package those insights and that data further out in the value chain and the shopping side of things. And so being able to deliver those third-party insights at point of sale to deliver the customer experience that they're wanting is very important in this fractured journey. Ease of purchase. Hard thing in the insurance industry. Usually that ease of purchase has been dominated by carriers. It's been a big, leg up. If I want to, quote and buy insurance fast, and, not have to, really spend a lot of time on not only quoting and buying, you typically have had to go to a carrier to get that. Whether it's 15 minutes can save you 15% or less, the carriers have owned that ease of purchase experience, but technology is making that ease of purchase experience extend further to distribution, wherein, hey, you can still bind with a distributor, even though you're binding with the carrier. To the customer, it feels like I'm contained in one experience. And then we talk about effortless management and service, whether it's digital wallet, Apple Wallet capabilities, mobile app capabilities. This is servicing is, again, been dominated by carriers, but the same thing on ease of purchase is now available on effortless management and services via APIs, portaling over to carriers through third parties. A distributor now can deliver some of those same service interactions that carriers deliver, all contained in their experience. And the last one is very important, and one of the things that distributors have really fallen short on is, the customer's journey doesn't stop at purchase. It really continues on through their lifespan. And the need for advice and counsel as consumers' risk change is more important today than it's ever been. A person in Arizona who didn't really have to worry about, do I have ACV on my roof, actual cash value, or replacement costs, now is entertaining those conversations as hail has hit places like Arizona. So those impacts of climate change are bringing on the need for consumers to have information and advice, but consumers want it delivered in a modern way. So that's kind of a dissection of, hey, to get the optimal experience as a consumer, it's really fragmented across different entities in the industry. When you talk about, now omni-channel and digging a little deeper into that, just to make sure we're on common ground of what we're talking about, definitely we understand single channel. Hey, I distribute and sell my products through a captive agent, and you go to that captive agent for all things. There is no kind of data syncing up across different areas on different spots of the value chain. It's one point of entry. And then you have a multi-channel connotation where you might have some captive agencies, you might have an independent distribution channel, and you might have a direct-to-consumer channel, and they're all separate channels. And usually that experience is an internal focus, contractual focus, or some type of merger and acquisition wherein those channels exist, but they don't really interact with one another. And then third, you go from multi-channel to cross-channel, wherein there's still a separation between the three channels, but you might be doing some data sharing across these channels to improve the customer experience for the consumer. But ultimately, the goal state of what consumers are saying is, hey, wherever I enter or exit your organization, to me, it should be a seamless experience. I really don't care if there's a different management channel for your independent, and I really don't care if captives have a contract. All I'm trying to do is have an effortless experience around my insurance shopping, buying, and advisory journey. So when you look at omni-channel, you have all of these interactions seamlessly connected. And when you're looking at the red on this slide, that's what technology has enabled, is to make that connective tissue a lot easier across different aspects of the journey. So when we look at the importance of omni-channel, interacting with customers in whatever channels they prefer, whether it's a brick and mortar store, an internet, by phone, via text, chat, email, or through social media, not saying, hey, customer, you interact with me how I want you to interact with me, but saying, customer, however you shop, I want to be adaptable to your needs. No disruption or loss of information in channel transfers. I like the Starbucks example. Hey, I ordered my coffee on the app. I drove to the Starbucks store. The line was backed up around the corner. So I cut through the back alley and go in the store, and my coffee is there. They know who I am. That is an example of omni-channel. As customers' needs change and things happen, the experience doesn't drop off. And then you're integrating humans and technology. There are moments in time, a lot of moments in time, where the data is right online or text or on your phone, but people just want to interact with humans. So the interaction of all of that together is now made available in an easier way through the advancements in technology, through customers' preferences changing, and the need of human touch and advice because of what's happening with market hardening is a big reason why the rise of omni-channel distribution is more prevalent now than ever. Final slide here. An independent omni-channel brokers can play a vital role in mitigating the insurance protection gap. That's making sure customers are adequately covered for truly what their loss exposure is compared to what they actually have in coverage. And one of the key things that an independent omni-channel broker can deliver to that is in the first word, independent. Choice and neutrality are vital to all these aspects. I mean, when you look at, hey, when I get my Apple iOS update, do I actually read the iOS update? Most folks will say probably not, because I trust Apple. Trust in the data world is more important than ever before. The technology is advancing rapidly. So really having an independent, trusted advisor across all of these aspects, whether it's social media engagement, whether it's mobile interactions, email interactions, call center customer service, field brick and mortar human person, if I need to sit down and talk with somebody in person, all of the aspects of managing my policies in one place and, simplifying the shopping experience, but more importantly, giving me life cycle advice as my needs change, bringing an independent mindset and neutrality to the customer journey is why an omni-channel enabled broker is vital for where the industry is going, particularly on where the industry is going in ecosystem to ecosystem connectivity. Omni-channel digital broker can be the gateway to the entire insurance industry and deliver the ideal experience for the consumer. So that's what I have for you today. I'm looking forward to any questions that there may be on the materials that I went through on why the value of an omni-channel brokerage is more important today than ever before.
Bryan, thank you very much indeed. And yes, we do have some questions which I'll rattle through relatively quickly because we are coming up to time. A question to Bryan from Bryan, a different Bryan, I'm assuming. How do you go about at Hub improving the customer experience? And I'll add to that about what a vital bit of currency that is for you in the customer experience, about how vital that is in the model.
Yeah, I like to say you have to silently stalk your customers to really understand what their intentions are, to get to the why behind the what. It's no longer, hey, let me put you in a room and ask you questions. It is part of that, but you need to look at how they're hovering on your website. What did they intend to do? What link didn't work? Listening to, call center interactions. This is the experience I've had in call centers where literally we would listen to the call, and technology is available to, kind of aggregate thousands of call interactions to get trends on here's what the customers are saying through their voice, empathy, tone, things like that. So I think the way you improve the customer experience in its simple form is listening and seeking to understand customer intent in a way that they don't have to tell you that. So setting up your operations, whether it's your data and analytics team, whether it's your customer experience team, we used to go and say, hey, customer, tell me, how do you want to shop insurance? Well, the reality of it is some customers don't really know until they know. So you have to be able to listen and monitor your customers in a way that's not invasive and intrusive to them, to understand what their intentions are, how they're living their lives in a daily basis. One of our key insights when we're forming View is our customers told us, hey, no offense, industry, I am busy. So I care more about things that matter to my heart versus my head. Insurance was a head transaction. Heart was Netflix and their kids' dinner and Amazon Prime. So, if you listen truly to what your customers are saying, you can deliver a great experience for them.
And the final question is about AI. How at the moment do you feel that's impacting insurance, and how do you think it's going to be impacting things in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's real. I've had a chance to visit ChatGPT out in San Francisco. I personally look at it as another level of enablement of strategic capabilities and a value prop that you want to deliver. If you still don't have a value prop, then ChatGPT is just a thing. But if I really want to deliver, say, proactive advice, artificial intelligence is another means to deliver that in a way that opens up new horizons. Hey, if you call my call center, how do I know if I'm talking to a human or person? Well, technology is there wherein you may not know. And so can I deliver the simple service experience through AI capabilities? What I've seen, the opportunities are there to do that. Can I deliver proactive bionic advice in an effective manner? I think the technology is there through ChatGPT and AI to really be aggressive with some of those concepts.
Okay, well, Bryan, I could talk to you for the rest of the show, but I am up to time because we have to move on to our networking break and then next session. Really enjoyed your company. Thanks ever so much for your insight.
Thank you.
Cheers, Bryan.